everyone, this is Tony Eddolls, and welcome again to the Rolling Help Foundation. We're working toward improving all our videos, and we want to continue to explain what it is that we are doing, how we're going to do it, and why. In fact, today we're going to focus on the why, as I think it might just surprise you. Take, for instance, that in the months of March through June of this year, which was really the advent of the coronavirus era, the largest network of food banks in America, Feeding America, has provided 1.9 billion meals. Yep, that's billion with a B. That equates to feeding every single resident of California breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 2 weeks. But when looking at these statistics, what has amazed me is that this need for basic nutrition, this need for food, it isn't new. However, Feeding America is up 50% year over year in some major cities. Like LA, it's up 80%. It's scary, to be honest. So we have a systemic or a fundamental problem in this country that's a symptom of economic disparity. That's just a fact. The big question is, what are we going to do about it? Our mission at Rolling Help is to be a drop in the bucket. We hope that we'll raise $250,000 in our first year to provide direct assistance to smaller food pantries in secondary towns around our nation. We call it the drop in the bucket because the problem is a multi-billion-dollar crisis that has just been given rocket fuel. We're going to help those who are just trying to bridge the gap, whether due to the pandemic and the resulting unemployment we've encountered or the needs of a family who, for whatever reason, just can't make ends meet. We're going to give a little help. And soon, we're going to be asking you to jump in and help out. Chris and I have been planning to sell just about everything and head out on the road in a motorhome for several years. And before all this, we plan to keep working our normal jobs, doing so from the road, and we talked about running a YouTube channel and maybe helping out in soup kitchens or pantries along the way to add some depth to our content. But as the pandemic spread and the impact became so severe, we decided to dive in all the way. We have formed a nonprofit corporation and applied for 501c3 status with the IRS. This ensures that your donations to our charity are 100% tax deductible as a public charity. We don't have the designation yet, and while we could theoretically and legally take your money now, we won't be accepting donations until we receive the formal approval from the IRS, which should take another 45 days or so. We don't take any of this lightly, and we want to provide total certainty to our donors. We've been witnessing some awful lines in this nation. These lines where mothers and fathers sit, typically in their cars, waiting just to receive the food needed to feed their families. These lines have got to end. We can do better. Then there are lines related to coronavirus, lines to get tested, lines to get treated. It's incredibly tragic. So what we wanted to do was create an alternative to donating to the typical massive charity and allowing our donors to be part of a grassroots organization. We're going to shoulder our operating expenses initially, and hopefully they'll be offset by some revenue generated from our YouTube channel. But what will be really cool to each and every one of you that contributes $10 a month or $1,000, you'll be able to see your dollars directly at work. We're not just going to seek out those amazing little food pantries in the Texas Panhandle or rural Vermont. We're going to travel the country in our motorhome and deliver the support directly. so you'll see it all. It would seem that fulfilling a bucket list item for us to travel the mainland, US, and Canada is going to happen. The giving part, the highest calling any of us can give of ourselves, it's being made easy. Hate it that this need is so glaring. But as Trump said recently, it is what it is. And with your help, we will be just a drop in the bucket that might just feed a family out of a church in Tennessee, or allow a pantry in North Dakota to feed a few more people. All because of the generosity of our donors. We're not fooling ourselves. Operating a public charity will be quite an undertaking. But I think we both feel that this is one of those moments in life where the stars align and our calling is in front of us, at least for the next 3 to 5 years, and then we'll go from there. Meanwhile, we'll be asking for your help soon enough, but in the meantime, we're going to show you how everything unfolds, setting up the organization with the IRS, building out the YouTube channel, and then the fun stuff, shopping for our RV, and whether that ends up being a massive fifth wheel or a 45-foot coach. So, if you're wondering why, I hope that I've answered that question. It's time to give back. So, stay tuned, stay safe, and most of all, stay healthy. Aloha.